Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Metal Magdalene with Jet right here on Metal Messiah Radio. Tonight we have with us a special guest. We have Vorph of the legendary Swiss metal band Samael. Welcome to the show, Vorph.
Hell, Jen.
So, hey, Samael's been around since the late 80s. I mean, what?
Yeah, you're right. That's a long time ago, right?
Longer than some of my listeners have been alive, but we won't talk about that right now. So what inspired you to start this band, and what were the early days of the band like?
I mean, I've been a metal fan as long as I remember, I started to listen more like hard rock stuff like Kiss and AC/DC, and then, discover Iron Maiden, Priest, Motorhead. But I guess this is the time when I heard Venom for the first time they make so much an impression on me. I mean, I was also listening to some punk at the time, so it was like a crossover of those two things together. Plus, they had this dark twist that really attracted me toward their music and their whole universe. And that's probably one of the bands that really, make me want to start to do music, because I thought, wow, this is something I feel I could eventually try, and I was kind of drawn toward that. So, yeah.
So what were the early days like then of the band when you first started out?
Well, we started out as a duet. So I was just playing with Xi. We were just the two of us at the beginning. And we were pretty much trying to make a music that was eventually heavier, but or darker than what we were listening to, which, Venom was one of the band. It was also Bathory or Celtic Frost from Switzerland as well. They were like a big influence for us at the early stage of the band, and we were actually rehearsing every day. We had a rehearsal place, so when we were not playing there, we were actually listening to music together. So that was kind of we were in the loop somehow.
And then what was it like, when some of those early shows that you guys were playing?
We haven't played many shows as a duet. I cannot remember how many, but it was probably less than 10. Then we had a Mass, or bass player, joining in. So it was we were more like a real band, because we were kind of tired to hear always this comment. People will come after the show and say, "Wow, this is really cool." Especially the fact that you're only two of you on stage. And I thought, well, maybe we don't need to have this kind of gimmick. I mean, maybe we can be a real band and still be cool. So, we'll try that.
I think it worked out for you okay.
Thank you.
So what was the black metal scene like in Switzerland when you guys first started out as compared to now?
Well, they were no real band. I mean, besides Celtic Frost, Hellhammer, they were the only one. And they, maybe you know a bit about Switzerland, but this is a very small country, but we got different language, and they come from the German part, and we come from the French part, so we didn't have any relation to them, any connection, even though we knew about them, So we were pretty much lost in the French part of Switzerland, playing this kind of music. I don't think there were other bands. I mean, we had friends with, maybe you remember about them, Alastis, for example. They were from the same area. This is actually where we still are our bass player at the time, and there were some other band, but that never really make it to an album. I mean, they stopped before, or just did like a few shows and that's it.
So how would you describe your evolution over the years, Vorph, as a band?
Well, we had like a few cornerstone, I would say, that were important. I think that the third album, Ceremony of Opposite, is probably one of the most important album for us, because this is the time where Xi started to do all the music by himself. And then I only, took care about the lyrics and work on my vocal lines. So that was a big change. We also had a keyboard, on that album, on every songs, and that kind of opened doors for us, for more orchestration, for different atmosphere, and Yeah, I think that was definitely an important album. The next one as well, Passage, where we actually see switch from the drum to the drum computer and play the keyboard and program the drum on the drum machine. So that was kind of a big change. I think between those two albums, it's probably where we actually found our identity, and then from then on we kind of tried to develop this and experiment a little bit here and there, but mainly we had the core of what the band will become at that time.
So, Vorph, how old were you when you started this band?
I was, I think, 18, something like this. She was 14. Yeah.
So really, as this whole evolution of the band is going on, you guys are evolving yourselves. I mean, you started with this band when you were kids, and you're men now, Vorph, So, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you hear people talking like, how you're talking, how you evolved as a band, but people think of you as starting this band as grown adult men who know everything, but you're kids, so it's...
We certainly thought we knew everything at the time already. You know how it is.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we grew up with this band. I mean, this is like the backbone of our life. And this is funny because when I'm trying to make sense of things that happened in the past, in my personal life, I always refer to the album that was, recorded around that time. Because I think every album kind of encapsulates a little, time of our life.
Of course.
And I can relate to this. I mean, especially though, lately, like for the last 2 years, we actually played the Ceremony of Opposite album entirely, and how all those, memories coming back to me. I mean, a lot of things, not necessarily connected to the music,
right.
That was connected with, my surrounding, my environment, with the people I was at the time, and some I'm still, very, very close, but some, some they're dead, some they're gone, don't know where. Mm-hmm. So, the thing have changed, but, yeah, this is definitely, for me, a way to make sense of my life. Yeah.
And I think a lot of us that have been around the music scene for a while, we kind of always connect music to what we were doing in our life at that time, Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Even like for me, I'm not an artist, but I think of, early days of Sabbath and stuff and being like, oh my God, we used to do all this kind of stuff that we could never get away with now, with all, But anyways, so we're here today to talk about your new album you have coming out on Friday the 13th of October.
Exactly. Yeah. Very soon.
And hopefully, let's see if I could pronounce this right. Hegemony?
That sounds very good.
Okay, good. Now that means leadership or dominance. So how does this title pertain to the content of the album, Vorph?
Well, clearly, this is not a concept album. Mm-hmm. This is an album that has been constructed song by song, and after a while, it starts to take shape, and you sort of have an idea where you go. But even though you got this idea, sometimes you eventually try to go somewhere else to make it more interesting. And we had the song called Hegemony first, and I mean, basically, I really liked the song, and I thought it had a big potential compared to everything we've done before, and I felt like somehow it was ruling over, all our material, mm-hmm. And that's why I went with the title and then tried to develop something around it, which kind of went somewhere else, but originally that was the idea. And basically, before that, we wanted to call the album Samael, actually. We mm-hmm. have a song, Samael, on the album.
Yep.
And we thought maybe that would be too much. That would put too much light on that song, and maybe it will overshadow the rest. And I think, there is a song with big potential of this album, so we didn't want to do that. So we went for Hegemony, which was, in our mind, already the opening track. We kind of knew it will be, so,
So let's talk a little bit about that song there, Samael. Now, it's the second track on the album. Now, you just saying that, how you were going to maybe name that album,
yeah.
But then it was too much for you. I could understand where you're coming from, because reading the lyrics of that song, why don't you explain to us? Because for me, when I read them, just not knowing anything about what's going through any of your minds, to me it seems like this is something that pertains to you guys personally or as a band or as individuals. So tell us about this particular song.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is not a new idea that we wanted to have a song, with the title Samael, but I never knew what to write about. I had the title, but not the subject. And this time, I mean, basically the whole song is about connection. I mean, the connection we got within the band, it's always when people ask me what's Samael for me nowadays, I just saying, this is kind of the spirit of the band. This is the entity we formed, the four of us, and there is something more when we are together. We're no longer just individual. We're also part of something bigger than we are. And this eventually could extend, to a larger group when we will, for example, play in concert. And you got the connection. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but when you got a very good concert, you got this connection, and this is happening. This is very hard to put word on it, but you know what it is, and that's kind of what the song is all about. About this connection.
And even the track after that, right, the Angel of Wrath. To me, again, just, the outsider, not knowing what's going on. When I listen to the songs, and this particular song, and when I read the lyrics, to me, it's like Samael as well, the actual angel. I mean, what is that song about?
Yeah, you're actually completely right. Because that's one thing I didn't want to do with the song Samael. I didn't want to talk about the mythical origin of the word, and this is what I've done with Angel of Wrath, pretty much. So yeah, we got kind of two songs, one which is dealing, with the origin of the word, and one which is dealing with what the word represent to us at the moment. Yeah.
See, so if you...
But yeah, you understood it correctly.
Okay, that's good, because sometimes I'm way off bat, but I mean, it's kind of... So all the more I could see where maybe if you named it, a self-titled album, it would kind of all fall into place anyways. But anyways, you didn't, so we won't even go there. So how did you guys approach this album musically now, Vorph?
It's no real difference than what we did in the past. I mean, once again, Xi did all the music and I did the lyrics. I think since a few albums already, we're trying to focus more on what we thought was, the strongest point of our music. What was really something we feel represented somehow. And we've tried that with Solar Soul already, but maybe we didn't include everything. And I think we succeed in doing that with Lux Mundi, because I think this is really like an album which we could say, well, this is us, that really sounds like us. After all these years, finally we have something that makes sense, and this kind of was used as a base somehow to build this new album upon. And I think somehow Hegemony is kind of the next step, a step forward from that one, but really following in the same mindset somehow.
So what's the lineup on this album, and is this going to be the same lineup that you're going to be doing for live shows?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we only had our bass player left the band a few years ago, Mass, and it was replaced by Drop, who actually was the guitar player from the band Cybrid. Maybe you heard about them. And I mean, he's also working in the studio, so he's producing band. I mean, he's playing bass for a long time. And once he joined the band, I mean, that was the click immediately. He knew our music from before, and he's all about music. So that was kind of the focus was once again about the music, not just friendship and long time history, which was the case with Mass. So we kind of we get refreshed somehow, and he's younger than we are as well. So
that'll
probably,
do it.
Kind of well that brings something more exciting on the table, I think.
Now, did you guys record locally?
Locally.
Yeah, close by.
Totally. Yeah. We recorded here in Switzerland. I mean, with our setup nowadays, as we got a programming drum, you don't really need a studio anymore, besides for the vocal and some of the guitar takes. But even the guitar takes we did with amps, we didn't use at the mix at the end. It was just like the profilers that we use for the guitar. And so yeah, we recorded here in Switzerland. We mixed in Sweden though, and the album was mastered in Finland.
And now you guys added Helter Skelter to this album as the last track. So why?
Yeah.
What is the magic of this song that made you want to put this on your album?
Well, we're not the first one.
I know. I just want to know why you.
Yeah, but I think this song is so important. I mean, it is an important song for us, but I think generally speaking, this is an important song for every metal fans or even punk or industrial fans. You know, it is kind of the seed of everything to me. It all started with that song somehow, and we wanted to pay tribute to the song, but also try to kind of make that one a little bit like a Samael song, you know, have become kind of appropriation. And that's what we tried. And we were well aware that, you know, there were other bands that did that cover, quite a lot actually. And we heard quite a few of those covers, but still we thought, well, we could do it differently. We could do it our own way, and I'm sure it will make sense. And, you know, we were quite a lot on that one, so...
Well,
happy with the results.
I was too. That was like, I have to admit, when I first got the album, I skipped all the songs and went right to that one first.
Come on.
I did, because it's like you said, that song has meaning to everybody, and like other people have covered it, but I wanted so bad, I couldn't wait. I wanted to wait, and that was going to be the frosting on the cake, but I couldn't. I had to go right to that one first. And you did. You guys put like your own style and emotion into it, and I think it worked really, really great. It wasn't what I expected, but it worked really.
Not to hear that, yeah.
So what formats is this album going to be released on now?
Well, you know, basically, they're gonna have the CD digipack. They have a special box, and we're gonna have it on vinyl as a double vinyl.
Oh, cool!
Which is a good thing. Yeah. I mean, I guess every album we did has been released on vinyl, but this is the first time we got like the double vinyl. So hey,
it's more art in there now. Hey,
looking forward to see it because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, that'll be nice. Vinyl is nice because you could hold it in two hands, you know, and you could see it really easy. You know, I love it. I absolutely love it. So you also have a bonus track, right? Storm of Fire.
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, is that
it
going
will be on the vinyl edition? Yeah.
Okay, I was just going to ask you that. What that's going to be on now? I mean, most bands, when they do their last album, they feel that that's their best album yet. And they should, because you're always trying to, you know, progress as a band. So I'm sure you feel that this is your best album yet, but why do you feel that way?
It's not only I feel, I know it is.
Yeah, well, that's where they're...
Yeah, because I think, you know, it probably includes... everything we've done so far in one way or another, but better. It's just, you know, we took like 6 years to finish it. You know, of course we had a break in between because my brother, he worked on a different project for a year. But all in all, you know, we had time to come back to the songs many times, and that never took us so long between the albums. So, you know, I think we had, if there were weakness in those songs, we already had plenty of time to find them and to correct them. So I think, you know, I like every song on the album, and you know that is fun because, for example, Napalm, they wanted to release a single, so we wanted to have Angel of Wrath first because we wanted to play that one live straight. But then we just let them choose. We, you know, I had no preferences, so they choose Red Planet, which is fine by me. And you know, I don't think there's like a weak song on this one.
No, I don't think so either. I couldn't find like my favorite one because they're all great. No, you know, you and C been together forever. I mean, do you ever get sick of each other or fight or?
Well, we don't live together, right? So I mean, of course. You know, back in the days when we started the band, we were living at our parents' place. So, yeah, I mean, we're all the time together. But then, you know, life changed, and you got your own life. He got his own place, and he's hanging around with his own friends. I mean, we don't necessarily have the same friends. Some of them, yes, but not all. So, you know,
You've grown up.
it works fine. It works fine, really. And I guess we somehow we're very complementary.
Well, that's good.
So that's probably why it works so fine.
Yeah, because it always sounds good. I mean, it always sounds good. Like you get along good, and you compose these albums. And I don't know of anyone where I could say, "Oh, I hated that album that they did," because there isn't any. So now, tell us a little bit about the cover art and the artist, so we could get the artist in there as well.
Yeah, we worked with him before. This is the fourth time I think he's doing a cover for us. The three previous album was already Patrick Pidou who did them. And as I told you just briefly before, we had in mind to call the album Samael first, so we were onto something else for the cover. I mean, I had my own idea. We've tried different things, and then when we changed the title, we just let him do whatever he wanted to. He had all the songs, he had the lyrics, and he came up with this. And I didn't ask what he had in mind, but I like it straight. And I had my own interpretation. Then I asked him, because we wanted to have like a small word on our Facebook page. So we asked him to have just a few lines where he explained, his own vision. And I think it's interesting, but this is funny because I had something else in mind. And I think this is good that, everybody could, have their own interpretation, their own link to that cover eventually.
Well, even if you had something else in mind, this one fits really, really well. It's clean, and it kind of goes with a little bit of that industrial edge that you guys have, and it's still, got that mystery. Anything with the third eye does, So what do you guys got coming up now as far as shows and that kind of thing?
Well, we don't have many shows. I mean, we're going to do mainly festival until the end of the year. We got a few. We will be in California in 2 weeks, I think. Just the day after the album is released, we play this California Death Fest Festival. Maybe you heard about it.
Of course.
I mean, this is like the same one done Maryland Death Fest, but in a different place and smaller. So we'll be there for that festival. We have something in Germany going on afterward. We will go to South America in Bogota for a festival too. Mainly it's going to be festival. We will have like 2 club shows in Switzerland, and that will be it for this year. So we're looking for next year, festival season, and hopefully a tour at some point, yeah.
So if people want to see you here in the United States, they got to do it at the California Death Fest.
Yeah, I'm afraid. For this year at least. Yeah, maybe next year we come back. I mean, we're going to do this metal cruise again in February, but, that's something else.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun. Have you done that before?
Yeah, we did it twice already.
Oh, there you go. So now you're going to have yourself a nice little vacation.
That's the idea.
So what sites are the best sites as far as websites for people to learn more about the band and what you got going on, merch and all that kind of stuff?
Well, we got our website, which is samael.info.
Well, there you go. So people could just go there to learn more about the band. And Vorph, thank you so much for coming on the show and taking the time out to tell us a little bit about the band and the new album out October 13th. And all the best to you with all you have going on.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was nice talking to you.